Hey you guys, welcome back to the woo woo room. Hey, happy Sagittarius season to all my fellow Sagittarius out there. I'm also a Sagittarius sun, and it's giving growth and expansion, especially after that 11/11 reading that we did. That reading was like super encouraging, and I feel like we are, for some of us, we are in a really good place. And I love that for us because it has been a long, hard road, baby. We even need a break. I kind of had a little bit of like anxiety getting ready to come on here and record this. And I think that this Pluto and Aquarius transit is going to be really interesting for me, especially because I have my North Node in a fixed sign, and I'm also in the middle of my Saturn return. And I am of the belief that like your first Saturn return is also a nodal activation, because the things that you go through at the end of your 20s that kind of transition you into like supreme adulthood, which I don't really think that anybody is an adult until after their Saturn return, because Saturn is like the planet that makes you an adult. It's the planet that makes you responsible and disciplined. And your Saturn return, sometimes it comes with blessings and sometimes it comes with lessons and sometimes it comes with both. Well, I would say it comes with both. I'm still kind of navigating through mine, but yeah, it's been very spicy. But yeah, I think that because my North Node is in Scorpio, which is a fixed sign, and I also have my Lilith in my 11th house. This is going to be kind of, at least for me, it's going to be like a nodal activation, and it's going to be shadow integration. Like the parts of myself that I repress because I feel like they're unacceptable. So, yeah, we're going to just kind of hop right into the reading. I'm going to pray and then we'll get down to business, I guess. All right. Also, I do accept private readings. If you guys would like to book one, you can send me an email to the email that's in the description box below. But yeah, other than that, we're going to get right into and down to business. Thank you, God. Universe, Source, Creator, Eternal One. Clear my head. Clear my head. And help me speak from my heart. Clear my head. Help me speak from my heart. Clear my spirit right now of any external distractions. Just prepare my vessel to be used in this moment. Help me to give from a place of love, to read from a place of authenticity, to express myself from a place of joy, truth, and authenticity. Help me to connect to the energy of the collective. Help me to pull the messages that you deem worthy to be communicated at this time through my vessel, through these cards. Help me to speak with confidence, clarity, succinctness, truth, wisdom. Help me to see without my eyes and hear without my ears. Help me to feel, see, hear, know, and understand those messages that are being conveyed to me and through me to the collective for the collective, of which I am also a part of. I open my heart, I open my mind, I open my spirit, I open my vessel to be used by God in this moment, and by the ancestors in this moment, by the angels in this moment, by the guides in this moment. I give thanks for my gifts. I give thanks for every breath. Right now, I ask God that you would breathe into me the breath of creativity, inspiration, and divination. Help me not to rush, but just to be still and listen. Right now, God, I ask that you would cast a fire hedge of protection around this space and around myself and everyone under the sound of my voice, from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet, from north, south, east, west, and every space they're in and they're out. I ask God that you would bless this reading and allow us to receive and integrate these messages, the messages that align with who we are and the messages that are meant for us. Help us to integrate them over time with your support and the support of our ancestors, with wisdom, strength, and courage. Help us to move when you say move, and to be still when you say to be still. I say Ashe and I say Amen. Okay, that prayer was a little bit different this time because I just feel like my long prayer is starting to feel mechanical, and I want to come from a place of like what I'm feeling in the moment. And before I started this reading, I felt a little bit anxious and felt like, am I supposed to be blah, blah, blah? And I'm just like, just pray, girl, and do your thing. Okay. My neck, child. You ever have to pop your neck? Okay. Spirit, please speak to me as it pertains. Speak to and through me as it pertains to the Pluto and Aquarius transit. Speak to me clearly and concisely regarding the Pluto and Aquarius transit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. What does Spirit want us to know about this Pluto and Aquarius transit? So before I even started the reading, I was kind of thinking about like, okay, you know, the astrological meaning of this. And Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It's a planet that brings destruction. And it's a planet that teaches us about control. It's a planet that teaches us about surrender. It's a planet that teaches us about value. And here we see, like, you know, those key words, those key astrological words like taxes and resources and blended families. Some of you are going to be getting some stepchildren this year. And Aquarius is the planet or the sign that, it's like a sign that's ahead of its time. Okay, it like rules over, you know, technology at a mass level. Like, I don't know the birthday of the iPhone, but things like the iPhone, things like computers, you know, AI, stuff like robotics, you know, stuff like that. And even science to a certain extent. Okay, famous inventors, a lot of them were Aquarius energies. We also see revolution here. We also see community here. And with Aquarius being opposite Leo, it's on an axis with Leo. And Leo is the planet, or the the sign where we see our inner light, our willpower, our divine sense of creativity and self-expression. And opposite of Leo is the fixed air sign of Aquarius, where as a result of expressing our inner light, we come into contact and build community with people who are a reflection of the creative energy and willpower that we are exerting and expressing. Okay, I'm also seeing like the strength card. And you know, like I guess probably because of that lion that's in that card. And your creativity is your strength for some of you, okay? It's about knowing, I'm hearing knowing the value of your strengths and using them to your advantage. Okay. There was also something about, so I was talking about the community and things that we build as a result of expressing ourselves authentically. So as Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're going to see a lot of people stepping further into their gifts. And this is going to be a nodal activation for a lot of people. Okay, so let's pull some cards and we'll see what's going on. Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius. Virgo, digest. Uranus, change. I'm hearing how do you process or digest change? Dignified, strength, okay? Like I was saying, I was seeing the strength card in my mind's eye. Ninth house, exploration, midheaven, pinnacle, and conjunction, alliance. All right, we'll just start with these three. So already off rip, I'm hearing some things about the Virgo Pisces axis, and for some of you, you can heal your addictive tendencies by creating a healthy routine. Because I took a what was it called? I was in an IOP this past year because I was struggling with certain substances as well. Like I went through, like, I'm in my Saturn. Jesus. I'm in my Saturn return right now. My Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces kind of deals with addiction and avoidance. And I was in an IOP this year, an intensive outpatient program. It was like group therapy, basically, for people who struggle with addiction to any type of substance. And mine, like, I was really struggling with drinking and a little bit with the and I in my IOP, I realized, somebody said, sorry, I got a text that distracted me. Center me, Spirit, thank you. My group leaders, we were talking about routines and self-care, and my group leader was talking about how when you, like, the self-sabotaging habits that you have, like, for me, that conversation was centered around, like, addiction. You know, you have a routine. Some of us have a routine of addiction. There is a routine in addiction. There is the purchase of the substance or the purchase of whatever, or, you know, like, there's a process that unfolds. And it's kind of like, I'm hearing, just like you have a routine in your addiction, you can have a routine that can heal your addiction. So you want to replace the routine that you have in addiction with a routine that serves you and who you are authentically when you're not trying to escape something. So if you're doing, like, a lot of, emotional processing in this season. Like if Spirit is having you work on some deep shadow stuff, carve time out for that in the day. Just like you carve time out to smoke, just like you carve time out after work to go to the bar, just like you carve time out to be up under somebody and escape yourself through another person, just like you carve time out to binge watch TV. You know what I mean? Like carve time out to create a routine, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, anything super big or extravagant, but it could be something that, you know, something as simple as journaling for 5 minutes a day or meditating for 5 minutes a day. It's the little things. Okay. Also in my IOP, we talked about like our triggers that make us want to use, and mine was change. And that's kind of what these two cards, the Virgo digest and Uranus change, that's what that reminded me of. Like, how do you digest and process change? Like, how do you allow change to move through your body, right? For me, whenever things were changing a lot around me, I would notice that I would smoke more or I would drink more. And I would have to, because when things change around you, like there's a little bit of grieving that goes on, right? Like, even if it's an upgrade, you might really miss your coworkers. You might have gone through a really rough breakup with someone who you thought was your person, and now you're with a new person who treats you 10 times better than that, but like part of you might still be grieving, you know, the old partnership that you had. So there's that piece of it too. So let's look at Virgo. Or I opened right up to Uranus, so that's in the middle of the spread, but we'll just start there. Uranus acts like a cosmic clutch. It takes us out of one gear and after some chaos, shifts us into a new one. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius, and it takes 84 years to round the zodiac. Uranus was the first planet we discovered once the telescope broke the boundary of our known solar system and coincided with the Industrial Revolution. So we're going to go through as a collective a pretty significant change, right? And I'm feeling, you know, this on a global scale. And I'm not seeing like, oh, all these crazy predictions about that, but I'm also feeling it on more of a personal level. Like a lot of us will be leveling up, and some of us will be going through certain tests to strengthen us, to make us more dignified in our talents and more rooted in our authenticity. It embodies the difference in eccentricity as it rotates in the opposite direction of most other planets and at an approximate right angle to them, with one pole pointing directly to the sun. There's something about that too. So it travels a different path. Like, so say all of the planets are moving like this around the sun, Uranus is moving like this around the sun. So this is kind of like marching to the beat of your own drum and not necessarily following the hive mind, you know. And I'm also hearing things like social media, like some of us really need to get off of social media because we're wondering why we can't bring in those manifestations and why, you know, we continue to attract, I'm hearing in a romantic sense, the same partner. And it's because we're listening to all of this, like, I heard the word dogma very clearly in my head, but we're listening to all of these like male and female propaganda, gender war podcasts and reels. And it's just very toxic. It's very toxic. So there's that piece of it too. Okay, the action here: surprised or be surprised. Be ready to shift gears. It's time to experiment and try a fresh approach or a new road entirely. If your life were a garden, now would be the time to scatter handfuls of diverse seeds and water them all and see what grows robustly and weed the rest later. So, and even for me, I had like a little bit of anxiety before I came on here because like I've been in prayer about since my surgery and not being able to work in the same way, and also wanting to do work that is in alignment for me. I've been in prayer about that. And I have like many gifts. Like I'm a singer, I do this, I'm really, really great at helping people. And God is like, go back to school, sing, do readings, like whatever interests you, do it. Okay, do what feels authentic to you. If you're knitting one day and then getting ordained as a minister the next day and then writing punk rock music the day after that, like do whatever makes you feel alive. Do whatever feels real to and for you, okay? Urgent anxiety can be a symptom of Uranian restlessness. So rather than just flailing about, look for the root cause and ask what change would actually solve the problem. What looks like a disaster may bring a wild opportunity. If you are thrown a sudden or shocking change, assume that you're being tossed out into the nest of potentially and into a potentially heroic journey. Chaos can be an important catalyst and unnerving. Chaos can be an important catalyst, an unnerving moment caught between forms. The discomfort allows and propels you to transform. Become your most authentic and eccentric self. You are just what is needed. Uranus also encourages technical upgrades and cutting edge approaches, whether that means acquiring a new skill or acquiring new equipment or skills. The challenge here, Uranus electrifies. It may feel like your finger is stuck in an electrical socket. You're anxious to change, but you can spin your wheels until you shift into a new gear. The gift, prepare for an evolutionary leap. Shocking circumstances can force you to engage gifts you didn't know you had and help you transform. You are not those external attributes in transformation. You will not dissolve. A caterpillar is internally the same creature once it becomes a butterfly. Okay, so on the note of electricity, my daughter calls it electricity. On the note of electricity, sometimes when I read or sing or do something like watch a really great reading on here or, watch a really great movie that gives me a message from spirit, like I feel the feeling of me being inspired feels like electricity, like pumping through my body. So whatever makes you feel alive, do that shit. All right. Virgo. Oh, you Virgo. Digest. All right. Symbolized by a woman goddess holding a sheaf of wheat, the mutable earth sign Virgo is ruled by Mercury. We can only feed the multitudes once the grain is sorted from the chaff. I think that's how you say that. Virgo is connected to the nervous system and intestinal tract, the job of which is to sort nutrients from waste. The sun shines here, August. So, okay, that's the dates. Look for the grain and release the chaff. I'm hearing if it don't apply, let it fly. And that's another reason why Spirit wants us to really step a little bit back from social media. And social media can also be an addiction. So just as you make time to doom scroll, make time to do something that electrifies you. Make time to create that routine. You know what I mean? You wake up in the morning and grab your phone. Wake up in the morning and grab your journal. Wake up in the morning and take a sip of water. Wake up in the morning and drink a cup of hot tea. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is for you, like start replacing those not so great habits with healthy ones. Okay. So that is a message for somebody though. Somebody really needs to wake up in the morning and start drinking a hot beverage, preferably something with like ginger, lemon, ginseng, something like that, because it will clear out, it'll purge the digestive tract. Because somebody's having some stomach issues. Okay. Whether you're asking about a relationship, work project, or culture in which you work, something in this situation needs to be sorted, edited, or reorganized in order to bring in its harvest. Whether you're asking about a relationship, work project, or culture in which you work, Virgo wants you to be specific and sort and release a habit, not a person, and change how you interact, but not necessarily with whom you interact. Examine the situation for the patterns that need to be released and composted. And what seeds need to be saved for another time or planted for the next season? So Spirit be talking to me like through my own experiences. And what right now is being called to my memory and attention is that the past few years, some people have cut me off. I've cut some people off. And my cutoff game now is on point. Like, it don't, I've been single for a minute and I've had little things going on here and there. But if I get the faintest whiff of this is not for me, you're not a healthy or safe person, I don't have no problem throwing that fish back out there. But Spirit is saying like, okay, yes, we had to take you through some of those situations so that you could, first of all, know what you don't want and be very clear on that. And secondly, so that you could improve your ability to set boundaries and protect yourself and stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself whenever somebody is doing things that are harmful and unsafe for you. You know, these runner chaser dynamics, these fucking situationships, and you know, the disrespect and like the emotion that like people who lose control of themselves, and you have to manage your emotions and theirs, and now you're pulling the emotional weight of two people in a relationship because one person doesn't know how to show up, right? So Spirit is saying we're in a place now where some of us have a clean slate, some of us have had things removed, but then now you're in a place where things have been added. Like maybe you were in a season of isolation at one point and now you might have a new partner, okay? Now you might have a new job, now you might have a few new things going on in your life, and Spirit wants you to learn how to interact with those new things as the new version of you that has attracted those into your experience. Okay, so if someone is, you know, if you have a new partner and you guys are disagreeing, you can't disagree with this person the same way and go about, you know, trying to resolve the conflict in the same way. You have to find new ways to look at things. Uranus is revolutionary, okay? And we're talking about routines, and we're talking about the nervous system. The nervous system, like when you experience trauma, there's chemicals released into your nervous system, right? Some people get addicted to those chemicals, and you continue to pursue situations where you are drained, where you are attracting the same person in a different body, where you are going from work situation to work situation only to find the same gossip, the same the same people but just in different body, the same spirit but just in a different body, the same spirit but just in a different building. You know what I mean? And it's because, like, what is the common denominator here? Right? We're talking about Pluto and Aquarius. The only way that you can incite radical change is by taking radical accountability for the shit that you do, and the way that you think, and the way that you show up, and the routines that you have when you communicate. When somebody listens to you, or when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I have a problem with something that you're doing, are you actually listening to them? Are you listening to understand, or are you listening to respond all the time? Are you argumentative and defensive? You know, instead of taking accountability and saying, hey, you know what? Thank you for sharing that with me. I apologize for my actions and how they made you feel. I will do better. Can you show me how you would like for this to be done? Or can you show me, you know, can you tell me how you would like for me to speak to you about this or go about this? Like, really show up from an authentic place and be willing to change and take that radical accountability. We're talking about the nervous system. The nervous system is the key to manifestation. Okay? When your nervous system is in a state of addiction, when your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, when your nervous system, you know, you're constantly doing these things to harm yourself, and your nervous system is in that state, that creates your aura. The state of your nervous system creates your aura and your electromagnetic field and what you are attracting to yourself. So a change in routines, you take better care of yourself, you're going to attract a partner that will take better care of you. You make wiser, healthier decisions with your money, you're going to attract more money. Okay, it's like switching up, like be the change that you want to see, basically. All right, we're at 30 minutes here. Let's see. It may be time to take an introspective break from work and focus on your self-care routine. Look at your diet and health habits and see what needs improvement. Absorb vitality. Challenge. If you just weed the garden and don't plant or cultivate, all you'll have is an empty bed. Editing without creating gives you no content. Sometimes you have to ask the inner editor to take a break and let the creative process flow, then let the editor clean and polish. So a lot of people are in the habit, routine, and practice, this Virgo energy, right? Habit, routine, practice of being overly critical of themselves and their gifts and their creations, right? So Uranus and Aquarius don't really give a fuck. Like, they don't really care about being perceived as weird. They're going to do the quirky thing. They're going to wear the ugly sweater. They're going to use a Walkman in public. They're going to, wear the mixed match clothes and the goofy socks and like, they don't really give a fuck because they're living in their truth, right? So do that. Wear the ugly sweater. Use the Walkman in public, okay? Get you a cassette tape player. Get you a stereo and stand outside somebody's house and play music real loud in the rain with a black trench coat on, okay? Do the weird thing. Don't be afraid to do the weird thing. All right, the last card here is dignified. I heard holy and sanctified in my head. I don't know why. Okay, dignified, strength. A planet is at its strongest when it is essentially or accidentally dignified in a sign or placement that aligns with its nature and adds strength. For example, this card came out last time in our 11/11 portal reading. Mars is most Mars-like when in Scorpio and Aries, the two signs it rules, or in Capricorn, which is a strong sign of leadership. A dignified planet is like a soccer player who happens to be out in front of a tree, or out in front and free in the exact right place to receive your pass. I know what this is about, honey, and we gonna wrap it up here. If we can create, if we can take stock and take radical accountability so that we can incite radical change in our lives, and we wear the ugly sweater and we post the content that we're afraid is gonna, make us look weird, like, there's gonna be, because Uranus is rapid, quick change that happens very, it's like it's lightning. It represents lightning too, and electricity. So it's like a zap. In the zap of a moment, the speed of light, things could change for you, for the better. Okay. So we're like in the right place at the right time to do the weird thing. We're in the right place at the right time to do the weird thing. Or and some of us are saying the weird thing. Like, for me, the weird thing is singing. Love to sing, girl. I love to sing, girl. But I'm so scared. And I'm like, why? Because I'm afraid I'm afraid of looking stupid. I'm afraid to put myself out there for people to judge, and pick apart. But if we do whatever the thing is, and we release this, like, the Virgo energy and like the shadow of Virgo, that everything has to be perfect before I put it out there, we're in the right place in the right time to do the weird thing and get the big blessing. So I'm gonna just leave y'all with that. I love you. do the weird thing and wear the ugly sweater. Bye.